And so this brings me to the next point that I want to talk about, and that's talking about us. You guys are going to be out in the heat, and I want to give you some quick tips here, because when I worked for True Green, I did learn a lot of things, because our guys would work in the heat, and we would have some health challenges every once in a while, and we would do some things to mitigate those by giving them some training, as well as my father was a fireman here in St. Petersburg, Florida for 25 years. Now, I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine being a firefighter in Florida. You think there's heat in a burning building? Imagine if it happens at noon on the hottest day. That is a really tough thing. So I talked to my dad, and he gave me some tips too. And the first thing is, you need to start hydrating the night before your lawn work. And I know some of you are going to be like, oh, you're going to be our mom now? And yeah, there is, because I want you to be able to enjoy your lawn care. I want you to be able to enjoy what you're doing out there. And part of that is being healthy when you're doing it. So I recommend you start hydrating the night before. Don't drink a lot of alcohol the night before you're going to go out on the lawn. Save the alcohol for later. You want to be well hydrated. Start hydrating in the morning. I limit the coffee on mornings that it's going to be super hot, or on days that it's going to be very hot. And I work in the heat of the day. That's just what I like. But on those days, I limit my coffee, and I drink like a whole pot. I'll drink coffee like all day, black. But on days when I'm going to be out in the lawn and it's going to be super hot out, I limit my coffee and I add more water in the morning. So the first key to being healthy when you're out working in the heat is to stay hydrated and to pre-hydrate. The second thing is, as you're hydrating during the day, you do not want to drink cold water. For some reason, and I read all kind of stuff online about this, that drinking cold water, what it does is when your body is very hot and you drink ice cold water, what it does is it causes your body to think your stomach or your internals are hyperthermic. It rushes all the blood to around your stomach, which means all the blood leaves your head and your extremities. You get lightheaded and you can pass out. That sounds logical. I don't know how true that is, honestly. But I do know for sure that if you drink ice cold water and you're really, really hot, the chances are very likely that you will pass out and that you might throw up in the process. I've seen it happen more than enough times, and my dad said he's seen it too more than enough times. Guys come out of a hot fire and they slam a bunch of ice cold Gatorade or water, and they get lightheaded, they get nauseous, and they will throw up. For some reason, it's just not good to go from one extreme to another. I recommend drinking what I call garage temperature water. And here I am in the garage here drinking garage temperature water. I bring it from my house. My house is set at 77, our air conditioner is, and I bring it out here in the garage, and I keep it in the shade in the garage, and it does not get too hot. Now, it gets a little bit warmer than it would be inside the house for sure, but I start with garage temp water, and that's what I drink all day is garage temp water. The other thing that I'll do is, you guys see me wear these neck buffs all the time. I will drench those down with water and twirl them in the air and put them back on, and they will keep your neck cool. For some reason, if I keep my neck cool, it helps to keep the rest of my body cool. Of course, you see that I wear fishing shirts and all that. That's because I'm trying to avoid the sun. This is Florida, and skin cancer is something that's affected a lot of friends of mine, so I always try to cover up anyway. That's another good reason to wear a neck buff. But either way, I want you to keep your neck cool. That's another thing to do. Now, as you're going to go in and cool off after a long day, you should definitely have a cool down period in your garage. I usually take 15 or 20 minutes, and I sit in the garage and continually drink the garage temp water. And then just before I'm about to go in, I'll have my wife give me a room temperature inside the house water, and I will drink that. So that's a little bit cooler, 77 degrees. And usually 15, 20 minutes of having some inside the house cooler water, and I'm pretty good, and I can go inside and everything is cool, and I'll take a shower. Now, the worst thing that ever happens, and some of you guys that live in Florida will experience this, is when you're sweating after you get out of the shower. That's the worst feeling in the world, is to continue sweating after you get out of the shower. And if that happens, it means you didn't cool down in the garage long enough. I do not like to continue sweating after my shower, even though in Florida, it's kind of unavoidable. If you ever come down here to Florida and you realize, oh my gosh, I'm sweating all day, just realize that everyone else is sweating all day too, and everyone else has swash marks on the back of their pants as well. The last thing I will tell you is after a hot day of work and after you're out working, don't go get in an air-conditioned car. Same exact thing will happen. In fact, we used to unhook the air conditioners at True Green. We'd order, Ford F-350s brand new. They would come in with great air conditioning, and our mechanic would unhook those. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but we would, because guys would be out in the heat, and in between stops, they'd get in an air-conditioned car, and they would get headaches, and they would throw up, and they never knew why. And it was something to do with that cold, dry air coming out of hot, humid air into cold, dry air in an air-conditioned vehicle. It does the same thing that drinking the cold water does. It's just not a good recipe for success. So that's my advice to you during the summer, and please take it from somebody that knows how to work in the heat, the most extreme heat that you can have. That's how you do it. Give yourself cool-down phases. Make sure you stay hydrated, and as always, hope for the best.